Lego My Jameso.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Lego My Jameso. I'm continuing with the series on how to help you start your own Bricklink store. This week's video is going to be more Bricklink intensive. I'm going to show you the inventory page on Bricklink, every feature on there to help manage and change your inventory that you have listed for sale. Tomorrow is actually going to be the first time where I release a video on a set review. I'm going to be reviewing this set because I finally got one. So please check out that video tomorrow. And then next week, I'm going to start on Tuesday with a video showing you how to create a Lego train on your ceiling. So that'll probably be a 4-part video because it's quite intensive, but we'll get into that. That's going to drop next Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that. Without further ado, let's get into Bricklink and I'm going to show you kind of the inventory sheet page. Last but not least, if you're enjoying the content, please like the video, please subscribe. It helps me so much. So to Bricklink. Go to Bricklink, log yourself in, and then when you're on the login page like this, we want to hover over here to My Store, and we're going to do Inventory. In another video, I showed these items. I am going to have a video upcoming soon to show every item over here, as well as a video on every item over here. The inventory page is quite intensive, so I'm showing that in this video. So toggle over to My Store, and we'll drop down to here to Inventory. So the inventory sheet here is quite intensive. There are just many features. I'm not going to blur anything out. I debated on blurring out prices, but I'm fine with you seeing what my store is worth at this point in time. Yeah. So over here on the right-hand side, there are features to search for items in your inventory. So, you might not know where something is, or sometimes, you're looking for a specific part and you want to know if you have it, and if you do have it, where is it? So first things first, you can search by the catalog name and number is typically what I do. So we can then type in whatever the number of the part is. Sometimes having a separate Bricklink tab open where you can search a part, find it, and then find that part number. Then you could type that number into here. The number is the most accurate and fastest way to find a part that you're looking for. But then there's plenty other features here. So you can search by comments. I haven't searched by comments, but a common one is remarks. So remarks is important because that's where we label where things belong. So, I might come over here and, I might say, okay, hey, I want something in G12. I'm going to take one of these parts in G12. So let's just type in G12 here and it should show this. So we did remarks, and yeah, so here are the items. So you can see I have those parts here. And, that's great for knowing, okay, hey, I know I have this part in G12. I want to find it on my Bricklink store. That's a great way to find it. It's helpful if you want to move parts around because you could search the bin they're in now. And then you could search the bin they're in now to then change it around if you want to move it into another bin. So searching by remarks is great. And then there's options such as allowing you to search for sets, parts, figures, books, etc. As well as you can search for super lots such as door and door frames, and then new and used. So that's pretty cool. Lot ID, super lot ID, I really don't use these, but so I just had to briefly look that up to make sure I understood it completely. Lot ID and super lot ID are your unique IDs for the listing in your store. So you can search by that. I'm gonna just exit this out. So then there's options here as well that you can include in your search. You can include non-unique items. Each of these has a question mark by them, so you can go and read more about those features. I typically don't use any of these. Non-unique items are sometimes you might use that feature for combining two types of parts. Sometimes when you're listing things, you might have two listings of the exact same part, and one of them has a detail in the description and the other doesn't. So this will allow you to combine those. Custom items, again, I haven't listed custom items, but if you have a cool build, for example, I built this many years ago when I was a child. I love this Humvee. I could list this as a custom item, and then you could select what category you'd want it in. This has brick arms on it though, which are not a Lego product, so it would not be eligible to be listed in custom items. At least I don't think it would be. Reserved for private sale. You can have a reserve number on your store where, if you have a friend that has an account or somebody that and they reach out to you and say, hey, do you have this set? And you're like, sure, I have the set. I'll sell it to you. You can list an item with a unique private ID and give that purchaser the ID, and they could type that into your store, and then only they would be able to view that. Stockroom items. Stockroom items is pretty cool, so I'll show you this. I'm just going to click this. I'm leaving everything up here the same, and I'm just going to select go. So then when you're searching for an item in my inventory, see it's loading, that's a massive amount of data that's coming in right now. I already have this preset to quantity, but again, you can have this set to, there's many different items, choices here, such as, the color and name first, the item name first. But I go by quantity, and then I select it down because it'll bring things up with my highest quantity. Because if I select up, then it will show that everything that has a quantity of 0, and I don't want to sift through 10 plus pages just to get to my first stockroom item that is still available. So now I can see here, okay, I have 8 of these. They're somewhere in my inventory, but I don't know where because I do not have a remark listed for them, and that is why I have them in my stockroom. So this sheet goes on and on. Not a whole lot of stockroom items, but you can see eventually it'll get down to a quantity of 0. See, so when there's a quantity of 0 here, it shows the price it was sold at or last listed at. It shows it's in the stockroom and retained. So if I was to change this and say, okay, I have a quantity of 2, I put them back in the same exact bin, I can now deselect stockroom here, and then they would be listed. All right. So back to inventory. This is a quick way to access that as well, is just click this inventory button here. Down here, again, lots of features. Okay, exclude stockroom items bound to super lots. You can read more on this. I haven't ever used these, so I don't have a whole lot of information on them. But, okay, so items on my wanted list. This one's pretty cool. I sometimes use it. If you have a wanted list created, so check out episode 8, last week's video, if you want to see how to make a wanted list. And you can then actually just search for items that you have on any of your wanted lists in your store, and that's helpful because then it allows you to remove that item from your store. That way you don't sell it, and it's a part that you need for another set. So that's an awesome feature. Marked for deletion. Every once in a while there's a part or piece that has different variations, or they change the part listing, so they mark ones that are going to be deleted, and they have new listings that you should update your parts into. For example, so I'll just click that real fast to show you. See, they don't even have images up anymore. So there's items in here where, like, they had a lot of parts back then that were noted as undetermined. So things like flags, they have a wave that goes this way and a wave that goes this way. They look very similar, but because now that you're supposed to just specify which one's which, versus just having it as undetermined. Okay. You can, again, lots of features here. I don't use many of these other than the wanted list one is great. And then, again, marked items for deletion. That's something you should check out every once in a while. And then things like here. So for shipping, this is helpful. So missing my own weight. So some items you might want to include a weight for them in terms of if you have how your shipping methods are made. And then some, I don't use this, but you can actually put in your cost for an item that's listed. So you might search things by, okay, it's missing my cost, to find out which ones do you need to update and put in, okay, hey, I bought this for 5 cents. I bought this set for 100. I don't typically do that. I do all of my background bookkeeping in a separate area, and I'll show that in some video down the road. Okay, so, and then lots of features here. Go through them, check them out. I don't need to necessarily explain everyone. If there's one you're curious about or don't understand, please let me know. But most of them are self-explanatory. These ones are a little confusing, but again, I rarely use them, and they have all the information you need if you click that question bubble. So you can put items on sale, which is pretty cool. So again, you could search for things on sale. You could search for things based on condition. You could search for parts from a certain set number. So that's pretty cool. I haven't really used this feature, and I really should. I didn't really know how it exists, that it existed actually, to be honest. You could search for things based on how long they've been in your store. So you might want to do that if you're intending on dropping a price. You might have a rule that says, hey, if I've held on to something for 3 months, let's drop that price and try and at least get something for it. Um, and then items last sold as well. So, and then you can search by quantity. So lots of options here. And then there's show less. So typically this is what it might look like, but you could click show more and there's all these features. All right, already getting lengthy, but I'm gonna try and let's go back into this. So again, on inventory, now this is pretty cool. So we already discussed on what's on the right-hand side. Up top here, you have several features to click on. This is basically how whichever one you select will determine how this sheet looks. So you could have it outlined by color, item type, year of release date, condition, super lot type, or availability. Availability, sometimes I use that because I'll just simply click this and then it shows me, okay, what's in my stockroom and what's available. And that way sometimes I can check my stockroom real quick. I already showed you how to get to there another way, but this is a different way to get there. And then I could go in there and update it or delete items or, list them for sale if I find out where they are in my inventory. And then you could see what's available. By condition's also nice. And then let's see, item type. Yeah, I like item type as well if you're specifically looking for sets, parts, boxes, any type of item. So lots of cool features there. So now you have all of your items here, and it's always outlined by sets. And then I don't know if we can, did not mean to hit that. So that will just show every single set. It's taking time to load, come on. But it'll start with sets, then it goes to parts, it'll be figures and instructions then. Yeah, so plenty of different features here, but what you could do is you could select a couple of these boxes if you wish to edit that entire category. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So down here at the bottom, you have all of these options. These options are great, but you need to be very careful what you're selecting before you edit it. So right now, it's automatically selecting put items on, and then you could type in a % for sale. So any box up here I click, it will edit that entire category. And the dangerous part about this is that you can select everything. So if I was to select everything, now whatever I do down here, okay, do I want to set a tier pricing? Do I want to put everything on sale? Some people do this every once in a while. They will say entire store 10% off. It'll boost sales. It's pretty cool, but that's how you just automatically put everything on 10% off really quickly. Likewise, you could bring it then back to a 0% sale and restore your original prices. Delete items, very scary. I've never clicked that. I'm not going to because I don't want to delete my inventory essentially. You could change conditions of items. So sometimes this has happened to me where, I listed multiple items as new and then I was like, oh, I didn't mean them to be new. They're all used. And so you could change that over. You could change things over into Stockroom. So this one I've used. So sometimes if you're either going away or if you want a large part of your inventory offline, you can just make it a Stockroom item now. And then nobody would be able to view it. So that's cool. As you can read through these and see all the features, but pretty much you can change prices, whether it's retained is it in stockroom or inventory. So there's options for you. And then you can update, so this is where those boxes that I showed you are selected. So right now it's set on only the above selected categories, but you can make it just my whole inventory without selecting any boxes. You can do update all items that are only like new or used or specified, and then you could do store items or stockroom items only. And then you could choose to update things that have a % off. So if you just want to say, okay, we're going to do my whole inventory, we're going to update items that are on 10% off, and we're going to update them to whatever we had up here. So let's say we wanted to set them on 5% off now. That's a way to do that. So again, warning here on deleting things. But again, I keep saying again, this page is quite involved. As you work with Bricklink and list more and get used to this page, you'll figure out the features. But for me, I wanted to mention it and go through this as a separate video because I feel as though there are a lot of important features on here that I constantly use daily for my inventory. And there's a lot of features down here that I didn't know about when I started my store. And I went through and did things manually. And just clicking through Stockroom and retain and that for every individual lot was bizarre. And I was younger, so I wasn't thinking that there has to be a feature to change everything. And I'm sure some of these features, some might be new and weren't here originally, but overall this is pretty cool because you can edit your entire inventory. So I'm going to select out of this, and we're going to just reset the form. Okay. So that is essentially the Bricklink inventory section. Next week, I'm not sure which video I'll release next week, but like I said, I'm going to soon have a video on the sales section, your account. I already outlined these in previous videos, and then I will also do videos showing your profile, purchases and account, and I might mix some of those together. Inventory was a little more involved, so I wanted to keep this separate. If you're enjoying the content, please like the video. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Tomorrow is going to be my first Lego set review on a cool clone battle pack or minifigure pack that was out that I finally got my hands on. And next week on Tuesday, I'm planning on releasing the first video to how to build a Lego train on your ceiling. So if you're looking forward to that, please subscribe so you'll get the notifications. Thanks so much for checking this out. It really helps me, and I hope this helps you start your store. Some of you might not really enjoy some of this content currently, but I want to keep it out there as for information for those of you that are looking to start a store or have questions. As always, please comment with any questions you have. And yeah, thanks so much for checking this out. I'm Lego My Jameso. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.